Hello, Damon Grey. Thank you for joining me today. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience and say who you are, what you're doing, and maybe why you do it, and maybe about a little bit of your musical background and history?
It's Daemon Grey here. I'm from Toronto area in Canada. Solo rock artist. Got an album out called Follow Your Nightmares. And yeah, man, in terms of why I do it, creating music is creating from the soul. That's the purpose of life. We're all creative souls. We're all meant here to express our passion in this short period of time we have on earth. So growing up, I got super tangled into heavy music, angry music, but I always viewed it as an awesome vessel of growth and joy and happiness. And even though it's, angry at times and whatever, I always for me, it was a place of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So creating, music, dark rock and metal is just me trying to give back to a world that I consider to be my everything, that raised me, like a lot of other heavy metal fans out there. So in terms of inspirations, man, it kind of goes, for me, I just like the extremes. So I like all extremes, all emotional extremes. I like everything from, the darkest, most brutal death metal I can find to the happiest, let's hold hands and talk about love in the garden. And I also love the saddest music ever, like Elliott Smith and depressed heroin addicts. But I love the happiest music ever, the Beatles, or I even get into new age hippie music sometimes, just Save the Trees and Praise the fucking Spirits. All the different variables, man. It's all good. I'm all into all the emotional extremes. I don't judge them. Just want to experience them. And yeah, I got an album out. I'm gonna be getting another album out once I get to LA and get it made. So I actually have that album ready to go. It's just a matter of navigating this crazy world we live in, and do a lot of writing, do a lot of creating, and here we are, man. Another day, another good day.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. So, as I understand this, you are a solo artist, right? Or you have a band, or you
It's a
creating?
good question, man. I mean, I'm a solo artist. When I joined the label Out of Line to release the first album, they wanted to promote it as more of a band. But at the end of the day, yeah, I'm a solo artist. I write the music myself. It's my music. It's my project. But live, we're a
Mm-hmm.
band. It's not
Okay,
just
okay,
me
okay.
running around there. Obviously, we're a full blown band, and sometimes the members can change and such. But yeah. It's
Mm-hmm.
both. It's a band and a solo artist.
I see. Because yeah, I checked your videos, and there was mostly the same guys, and I was like, okay, so how does this work together and stuff? I'm pretty sure you're the main force, but sometimes the creativity is it's good if you are with other people, because I mean we're gonna talk about maybe how you create your music as well,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
sometimes it's not easy as a solo artist.
Mhm.
There's some obstacles with it. First of all, when do you finish a song? It's you always can add something or distract, and you need some other people, like a sounding board to kind of put out your ideas, and somebody else needs to tell you, okay, no, this works or it doesn't work, or are you
Yeah.
so, and I don't mean it in a bad way. Are you so full of yourself that you just know, okay, this works and I can go with it? And I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, so I mean, I write all the music myself exclusively. The band's not involved with
okay,
writing the music. And the person that I collaborate with is the producer of the album. And
okay,
I've been working with a guy named Mike Riley. He's done some he's at a Manson record. He's just, we're on the same wavelength. I mean, you got producers these days that can play all the instruments, do all the sounds. So it's a very intimate collaborative process with a producer, and then we bring in musicians as we need. But for writing the music, it's my energy and it's my vision and it's my soul that I put into creating basically the rough draft
mm-hmm.
of the song. I don't play any instruments, so I create them I make the sounds of all the songs just with my mouth. Dun,
Mm-hmm.
dun, 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 dun. I do the drums, I do the whole thing,
Okay.
but I mainly do it in my mind, kind
Mm-hmm.
of with like how the energy and emotion feels. And I know it sounds abstract, but that's just how I do it. So I'll think about a song sometimes for like, I'll get an inspiration and go. Sometimes I think about a song for like 4 or 5 months just in my head
Mm-hmm.
until it's like, okay, I feel this song now. I know what it's like, the vibe of it. And then when I get to the studio, you said like, how do you know if a song's done? You kind of just get into the flow, and when you have this like high level vision of what the song is, what the sound is, you don't have to stress about every little part. It's just like, is has this vision been kind of realized?
Ah, okay, I
And then
get
once
it.
it
Mm-hmm.
has, it's like great. And then like you learn to just be more chill with things. It's like, oh, I was expecting like a double kick there, or not this, or oh, I thought that was gonna be a little different, but it's not. It's like you also have to balance. Like I can't make my vision of everything too exact. I
Mm-hmm.
have to also go in the flow. So it's like you get your high level vision, and then you go in the flow and you just ride it.
Okay. This already explains a little bit because um, music-wise, it's really tough to. I mean, it's not tough, but it's you're not really like clear cut only this genre or only that, you know. So you have a variety of things, and now this kind of explains it to me a little bit because you just get your vision and you let the song decide or the idea decide where to go really with it because there's some, you know, I found you through the song uh, I don't want to grow up, and I really like this one. It's really in your face and really punchy.
Yeah,
But then you have
yeah,
some other songs like King of Sin or so. This is a little bit more how you say virtuoso. You know, there's some more things involved. You know, so you have the punchy stuff and you know, now I get it because I was like, how is gonna how does this come to pass? You know, in your
yeah.
creative process. Yeah, no, that's actually quite cool that you might have found the right producer to get this done. You know, that it's not easy, I think, to get the visions out of your mind out. You know, even if it's
Mm.
like you said, a high concept vision, and you're not so focused on the small details, you still want, you know, to see your vision in happening. You know, so and
Yeah, that's
you know
why the
you
the
need a
connection is so
like-minded
important.
person to get it there. So.
Yeah, yeah. The producer needs, I mean, that's why, like, even though I could make the album other places, and if I didn't travel, it'd probably be like, I wouldn't have to deal with as much stuff. But like, he's just a guy that I trust, and it's
Mhm.
like his vision too, right? Like, I'm bringing songs like 50, 60, 70%, and then it's also like his vision as well, like where he wants to take it. Um, but it's just like basically, yeah, there's overlap. There's overlap, and it's like when there's mutual respect and mutual trust of each other's feel of music and musicality, it can just move the way it needs to move.
Mhm. Mhm. No, I
And
think
yeah,
this is.
the first record, those songs, like they came from a lot of different times. They're all kind of like their own story. The second record is a little different because like I actually created it all around the same ish period of time, and I've like put it into a flow.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be very exciting if it comes out how I want it to come out, as like one kind of more unified genre
More like a
sound. And
concept album kind of, you know, that it's more interlocked the songs, because they're you know, like a, yeah, like a concept album that they are having one basic story they follow or something,
it's
or.
not so much like a concept album, I wouldn't say. It's more just like the first record is a lot of different songs. Like it's almost like 11 singles. Like
Mhm.
each one had its own unique thing. There was different people
Yep.
involved with all of it. And the flow of it was just kind of like taking 11 stories and just like seeing how they could work.
Mhm.
Whereas this next record, I put more thought into, because I've created at the same time. It's like I've kind of it's just gonna flow more like a record made from start to back, as opposed to like 11 singles. And
Okay.
like I think either way works, you know. But anyways, yeah, I'm pretty stoked to have just like a more unified sound across the whole album.
Okay, and what will the sound be? Because like we already talked about your 11 singles. Let's put it this way: we are diverse, and this is cool. I mean, I really like
Yeah,
that. For me,
yeah,
it's
same.
I grew up with crossover.
Yeah,
Fate No More and stuff, and I'm really
right.
like that. You're not so stuck in one genre, because when
Yeah.
you keep it interesting, you mix it up. But so the next album, you have any idea which way it will go?
Yeah, I mean, I already have it like ready. I've got it, all the songs, I've done them with my mouth. I've got the lyrics ready. It's kind of gonna be yeah, like I think more towards the sound of like I like the taste of blood in terms of the dark industrial goth
Oh,
metal
cool,
sound.
cool. That's
Yeah,
exactly my thing. So I'm looking even more forward to it, man.
me too, man. I can't wait to see how it comes out. But um, it's like dark and that kind of vibe, but high frequency, high energy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
Well, you know
yeah.
what I always find interesting is that because you know I don't know you yet, but I'm pretty sure you are a quite positive person, and it's for me it's so not funny, but it's always kind of like you find really how you say very positive people doing very dark music, because kind of
Or-
is it for you that you kind of uh, put your bad things, your bad inclinations into it, or is it like a cleansing thing, or um,
Mhm.
because I see this quite often, and I'm just this is just
It's
an
a
open
complex
conversation, just wondering if it is something has to do with it, because you are a very positive person. You just told me you came back from the woods and you had a nice trip, and you're full of life. Let's put it this way. And then you do a more dark. I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm
yeah.
absolutely with you, but I'm just kind of thinking about it out loud right now.
Yeah. It's a good
How,
question, man. It's a profound question. And
mm.
I would answer it with one phrase and then expand on it. But the phrase I would say is beyond good and evil.
Oh, Nietzsche. I love Nietzsche. I'm a German. He was not far from here, actually, where I live. I'm a big Nietzsche fan, so we
Yeah,
have
like the
something to
the,
connect.
the judgment of good and evil is just that, it's judgment.
Hmm.
And our truth is beyond judgment. Our truth is just experience. So, it's all experiences are neither good or bad. All emotions are neither good or bad. What one person deems as evil or bad is just their own judgment. So for me, I like all of it.
Hmm.
Um, I just happen to really resonate with like dark, uplifting energy because I like it.
Hmm.
I don't consider it good or bad. I just really like it. I consider it raw and primal and empowering and increasing frequency. And I feel like you can listen to angry music. I know you can listen to angry music from a place of love. Not
Hmm.
that I would consider my music very angry because there's much angrier music. I consider it just kind of like high frequency, dark inspired, yeah, and music. And the other thing with your question in terms of why like happy people listen to dark music, for example, or like watch scary movies, I believe it's all about the a balance of extremes. And I believe that we are relative beings in nature. So when you go higher on one scale,
Hmm.
like higher on the scale of love, it allows you to better tap into
That's a
the
good
feelings
point.
of pain and vice versa.
Hmm.
I consider it akin to training your vocal cords. As you train your like low falsettos, your high ones open up. As you train your high, your low
Hmm.
opens up. But if you just train your high, you lose your low.
Hmm.
So it's like it's great to go all different directions, man.
No, it's
I
actually
think that
a
the
good
people
idea.
that like
Yeah, it's
Yeah, sorry, just people that like the heavy dark stuff, you know,
mhm.
by doing that, they're also training the happy love stuff. Is how I think about it.
No, you're absolutely right. This goes a little bit like I always get them wrong. Plato or Socrates, that it's kind
Yeah,
of this unconsidered life. If you have like, um, you know, if you have a flat line, then nothing bad or nothing good would happen to you. But if you can experience the good, you also will experience the bad. But it will, the amplitude or the altitude is higher. Like you just said, you take the good with
yeah,
the bad. If you really laugh, you can really be hurt because the person you laugh can really hurt you. But if you
yeah,
never really laugh, you will have never this good great feeling in the first place. So no, that's a really good point you're just making. So that you kind of you live your life to the fullest, you could say. When you go, not extreme. Maybe extreme is a little bit dangerous because when it gets like into I don't know. The kinky stuff maybe or something, but you should be more out living and really that you really get into the emotion that if you fall in love, you really fall in love, no holds barred. And if you if you hate someone, you hate someone. Okay, that's not the good emotion, but this happens, of course, because only someone you really trust or love can destroy you. No, how are you, can kind of turn really hurt you. That's what I'm meaning, but
right.
if you don't laugh, you never get somebody to really hurt you, but then you never really laugh. So it's always
Yeah.
this. You have to balance it, and you got a good point here. I'm really. Yeah, man, I learned something in the first 10 minutes of our
Yeah.
talk already.
Well, yeah, you pretty much sums it up well. I think I would just add whatever your truth is, feeling, you know, feeling shame about your truth or not living it is not the thing to do.
Hmm.
And I just like dark stuff. I'm not a fucking ashamed of it. I love it. I've always loved it,
Hmm.
Just because I go to some, meditate or do some fucking yoga doesn't mean I don't want to bounce some skulls in a mosh pit. Like, that's just me. I have no shame about it. It's all good. It's all from a good place.
Hmm.
It's just my authentic truth.
And see, I think this is really what sets us apart. I mean, there's a lot of angry youth, who kind of has all this repressed anger and stuff and doesn't leave it out. And the good thing with seemingly with both of us is we know of our dark side and we leave it out and we let it, we don't let it boil up when it explodes, but like you have
Totally.
this mass shootings or whatever thing, what happens when you
Yeah.
really have some anger issues. So we
Yeah.
know about the bad stuff, and we can deal with it because we face it. It's almost like
All your nightmares, bro.
yeah, yeah. That's a good, yeah. Like this is your your
All,
your album title. I know.
I,
It's
I see
very
yeah,
it's very
there's sort of
soothing.
two parts to the dark stuff. I mean, on one side, it's exactly what you said. It's like aggression release. It's so
Hmm.
healthy.
Hmm.
And even if you're not a mad person, like we are all connected, consciousness is connected. And there's like the pain body of consciousness. Like if you're, especially if you're empathetic, like you can absorb the energy from people around you, but just in general, right? That's
Hmm.
always flowing. So you always need to release aggression. Like we are humans on earth. Like it's a place of a lot of pain. So it's healthy to do that, of course. And then the other thing is like it's okay to just go to darker, aggressive places just for the fun of it.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to have a purpose. It doesn't have to have. It's just like I just want to do it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it's like the philosophical, and then it's just like
Hmm.
I just fucking want to do it straight
Exactly.
up.
No, I'm absolutely with you on this one because sometimes, I I talk with a lot of artists, and sometimes, some people really have a message and want to convey something, and there's a lot of good causes. You can talk about the environment or the self help or, kind of whatever. but sometimes you just want to have fun, and it's absolutely fine to just have fun and dance the night away and don't think about it, and just live on this fucking endorphins, and like you said, I wouldn't crush some skulls or something, but I get your point. Like doing pogo dancing on a punk concert and just not thinking about it. Just you rip your trousers or whatever, but it doesn't. It was worth it. It was just the night of fun, and this is I remember I mean right now we have this fucking pandemic, but hopefully it's over soon. I remember nights where I don't remember what I did, but it was fun. And it was just great to be alive, And anyway, so I guess we are on the same side here.
Experience for the sake of experience itself.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, I just had this conversation a couple of days ago. When at the end of the day, if you ask yourself on the deathbed, what was it worth to live? And if you have somebody who tells you, oh, I watched a lot of Netflix and, this was my life. And then, oh man, poor you. But if you just say, okay, I met this guy and I did this and I did some really stupid stuff, but I lived my life, This goes back to the unconsidered life that Plato or Socrates, I always mess them up, like I said, talks about, this life is so special because only you have it. So make the fullest out of it. This doesn't mean you should, this is my take on it, this doesn't mean you should live your life like every day is your last day, kind of there is no tomorrow. There is tomorrow, plant a tree and have children or do some cool, or uncool stuff, it depends on how you see it. But, provide for the future, but also, my personal thing is, if I would die now, there would be almost nothing I would regret of not having done. There's always a few things I want to still do. What?
It's a good day to die.
Exactly. If I still would like to see a few things more. I would. I want to jump out of a plane, with a air, with a, how you call this, air thing, jumping out of a plane with a,
parachuting. Skydiving.
Skydiving, exactly. So I forgot, the thing and stuff, and I want to, see a few more things, of course. But if I would die right now, I would say I have done the most out of my life, in my little capacity I could do, and this is how I think you should live, that you don't regret, because what I learned is you only regret the things you haven't done, and when you would say, oh, I could have done this and that, and why don't you do it? Even if you fall flat on your face, at least you could say, I tried it and it didn't work. Well, get up and do something else. Anyway, sorry, I don't want to take away from you because we're talking about you and not me.
Yeah, like I would say, just to comment on that, I think regret always is a conflict between your mind identity and your truth or your soul. So if your mind identity is looking to be cool in front of people, or it's afraid to do something because of it's being judged or whatever, or you're doing something specifically to be seen and all that sort of stuff, then that's what's going to lead to regret on your deathbed, because your deathbed, your ego and all that's gone away and your soul is staying there. But if you're living your life in your truth and you're just doing stuff because it's genuine to you, then you're not going to, live with any regrets, because it's like, I'm going to do this and people might think I'm stupid or make fun of me, but it doesn't matter because I know it's what I want to do.
That's so, a good point,
man, it's good.
No, you're right. You should, you should find your what truly makes you happy, and there's this saying, I don't get it together, but like dance like nobody is watching or something like this, and just have fun and I hate
this weekend. Put on eye masks and get warmed up. Everyone shakes it out like a weirdo, and you just get out of your head. It's all about getting out of your head, man. Sometimes it helps if you go through some trauma early in life, because you realize, But even if you don't go through trauma, you can still get out of your head.
Hmm. Okay, so let's talk about you again a little bit more. Um,
All right.
you are also a model. How did this come to pass, or does it um, can you just
Yeah,
expand
I
a
got
little
into
bit on
like
this?
modeling and performing, actually stripping too for women and stuff. And you know what? I think I think when you think about that sort of stuff, you instantly would think about the ego and self-gratification. But it really just comes down to enjoying it, man. Like I think there's no shame in sexual energy. There's no shame in being happy with what you look like. There's no shame in trying to document things like that in an artistic sense. To me, like modeling
Hmm.
and dancing and all that, it follows under the bucket of art.
Hmm.
And I think like any form of art, when art is done for purposes of the mind and the ego to get something, it's not going to be pure. But
Hmm.
when it's real, it's valuable. And like that's how I feel about modeling. Like I'm not doing some dumb shit just to like post it. I'm doing it because like I'm trying to capture something or it's like interesting to me. I'm not saying every fucking picture, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But like in general, like I want it to be cool. I want it to be part of a vision. I want it to be like an expression of myself, or if I'm like performing and all that. So, I mean, dude, whatever form of art feels nice to a person, they should follow. And I just enjoy the modeling stuff. It's cool, and the performing stuff. It's fun, you know.
Hmm.
And share if you want to share what you look like, or you don't want to share what you look like, you should do that. You know, I
Hmm.
just want to, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you as well because I don't know if you know that, but I grew up in the GDR, behind the Iron Curtain, and we had this big, for nudity was normal. You could, and when I was for the first time in the United States, and kind of there are so many porn sites, but nudity outside of it's kind of
So fucking
how
weird,
could
man.
and this is so we're going back to what you said earlier with it's not truthful in a way because I get a sense with you you're fine in your in yourself, in you're good, and if you take away the sexuality and all these things, then you also hide something from yourself, and this is kind of where
Yes,
the Americans. Okay, I don't want to bash them. It's not all of them, of course, but
yes,
where it becomes a little bit unhealthy because this is not allowed, and when you have this extreme, you have extreme porn sites, but when you're absolutely closed up like this, it's kind of this is unhealthy. This is unhealthy, the extreme side, and
yeah,
the other one is unhealthy as well. So kind of a normalcy would be in
yes,
order. Like I just recently read that in Germany, if you go to a sauna, you are naked. Everyone is naked, and this is normal because in a sauna you're sweating. Why would you have a towel on or something else? It's
yeah,
really ridiculous. And in the United States, you
yeah,
would have it kind of absolutely bonkers to me. So,
yeah,
but I think also this promotes this unhealthy thing that you were alluding to with I saw your pictures on Instagram and I thought it's really cool, and you do some really crazy stuff, stunt things, and man, you're quite in good shape, I have to say.
thanks, man.
So, but yeah, I get it. You're coming more from a healthy point of view, kind of like, look what I can do, and how well I feel with my body, and not like, look what I can do and you don't, and I'm better than you or something. It's kind of you're promoting
Yeah,
more the healthy outlook on yourself as well, on yourself and
yeah,
others.
yeah. With the sexuality stuff, and porn and all that, it's like, dude, I stopped watching porn. Like I think the only thing that matters with the sexuality stuff is self-respect. you're not doing it because you're crying for attention or because you got, you know, these damages and stuff. You respect yourself and you're okay with how you want to be, and that's cool. And then dude, on the physical stuff and all that, it's the same thing, man. It's just like, do you love yourself enough to treat yourself well? And how people judge you is their own business. It's not my business. Like if someone thinks I'm, you know, doing something for attention, that's their business. I don't, it's not my business. I'm just, right. It's very freeing to feel like that. And we're conditioned to be in a world where we should desire other people's, you know, approval and stuff. So you don't need it. You don't need it. It's nice to have, but it's not required.
That's a really good point, you know, because if you really think about it, you know, it's like you crave for attention on Instagram from all these thousands of followers or millions sometimes, you know, and they are faceless people, and if you really need, you know, you have no real close connection to them, and if you are so relying on their thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever, this kind of shows back to you how little self-esteem you have, or how little you kind of accept the person you are, you know. I mean,
Yeah, man.
I'm often wondering, you know, we are both a little bit older, I think. I'm not going to ask you how old you are, but you know, I'm kind of a little bit worried with a generation, and I don't want to, you know, sound too old, hopefully, after us, you know, who grows up with this stuff and kind of relies a little bit on their self-esteem to, oh, I got liked 1,000 times, and oh, this doesn't, you know, this attention grabbing for the wrong reasons, like you put it, you know.
Yes.
So to going after trends and stuff, and I deal with a lot of musicians, and the only thing I always tell them, and you have this down already, I don't have to tell you that, is do the things you really love to do, you know, because only this makes you happy. And if you perform your songs later live, you know, and you're not 100% behind them, how can you?
Yeah.
The audience will notice that you are like phoning it in, you know, that you're not really in it. And if you really are behind your songs and you're really feeling it, then it will transmit to the audience, and they will just get what you are and what you mean, you know. Even if you don't get the lyrics or something, they will get the energy, and this is the most important thing.
That's art. It's pure. I mean, for me, I can't physically create something that doesn't resonate. Like, I not only do I not want to, I actually can't. And that's just how I am. Like, I cannot be fake. I just cannot do it. It's not something I can do. I just, even like, for example, like, I don't know why this example comes to mind, but in university, you know, you're out with your boys, and everyone's trying to pick up girls and stuff, and they're putting on this act or that act to say and this and that, and I'm just standing there with a Slayer shirt on. I'm just like, I can't fake it. Like, I can't go up to some girl I don't know and pretend this and that. I cannot do it. It's just like, dude, I don't put energy into that. I just put energy into your truth, your authentic truth. So it's like writing a song. Someone sends me some song, and it just, the instrumental's pretty good. You know what I mean? It's nice. But if it doesn't resonate, like, there's 0% chance I'm singing to it. And, you know, that's one of the reasons bands never worked out for me. It's not that I can't, like, play in the playpen or stuff like that. But to me, like, my art is sacred to my own soul. So, you know, if a band sends me some stuff that put vocals to it, it's like, this might be dope, man. It just isn't me. And then, yeah, and in terms of like the younger generation, you said it's hard to kind of, I agree, but the only way to kind of get over that thinking of like, oh, what the young, what, it's like, it's all part of the flow of this, you know, it's all part of the flow of how we're all evolving in general. And like, we have to learn those lessons, because you know, some young kid that's all fucked up by their phone, you part of me is in them, a part of them is in you. So they're gonna learn those. We're all learning those lessons together, and who the fuck knows how it's gonna turn out? But it's there for a reason.
Yeah. No, my theory in this is there's always like a pendulum, and it swings in one direction. It becomes
Yeah,
very extreme, and then it swings in the other direction, and then it will find
yeah,
its middle ground. It will find the equilibrium where you have like a middle thing, because it's as much as you can bash this social media craze and all this stuff, it has also
yeah.
some benefits. It's great.
Well,
We are just talking because I could easily reach out to you and just say, "Hey, man, I like your music. Can we talk?" And here we
yeah,
are, and we're talking. So
yeah,
it's
yeah. It's
it's
great.
it's great. It's cool, and you can use it for some good. It's just if it's when we're going to the extremes again, if it's the only thing you need in your life, then something is wrong. There's um, if you give it too much space in your life, then but this is with almost everything. Even in a relationship, if you give it too much space, then it's also not good. You need to air to breathe. It's for you can say, my point is, you can say it to everything. If you do it in an extreme, it's too much. Even if you laugh, bringing it back to you laugh your music, but
Hmm.
once in a while, like you just said, you came back from the woods, and I'm pretty sure you were thinking about your music, and you were thinking about your new album and what you want to create. But it was also, you were
Yeah,
thinking about something else, and it was, you were out, and I like this too. Before we talked, I go for a little walk. I don't have a cell phone with me. I have nothing.
yeah,
I'm just,
yeah, yeah.
want to free my mind and just, be ready for a new experience. And this is hopefully what the youth will learn, and in this way, it's good that you are one of the persons they might like look up to, because if you want it or not, you are an influencer in a way, because people like your music. Like, I'm talking to you because I like your music, and
Yeah.
then people will check your shows and stuff. And maybe let's talk about this, because
Yeah.
I hope the situation right now in Germany is quite good, and I hope the same is in Toronto. You're in Toronto right now, right?
Um, Ontario, for
And,
some reason, it's like the worst in the world for
oh,
whatever reason. We're just Canadians tend to be interestingly nice, and I think sometimes they get taken advantage of in that sense. But
okay.
it's good that you guys are opening up and all that jazz.
So there's no shows at the moment at your area.
No, Ontario is like literally the worst in the world right now. It's very
Wow.
strange, but it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Because I wanted to talk with you. With your, I'm pretty sure you have plans to go live. To get your show on the road, so to say.
Yeah, and which I did, which I kind of feel like I've played the first album, a lot of it. I mean, sure, it was maybe 20, 30 shows just around mainly Ontario or Toronto. But it was, I got out there to express and play those songs, to feel them and to feel their live energy. And that's great, you know what I mean? If it was to 1,000 people or 10,000 or 10 people, like what can you do? Like at the end of the day, it was I was able to release that energy into the world through live performance, and that's it. So for me, the next thing I want to do is update the music, get some new shit out, and then play that. So
Hmm.
that's gonna be going down 100%.
Okay, and that's why you're going to LA to do
I'm
the
gonna get another record done so that you've got a nice catalog of songs to choose from and some
Hmm.
fresh material to play live and bring that energy,
Hmm.
bring the
Hmm.
updated energy, because some of the songs of the first record I came up with some time ago.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
It's all timeless, but like, as an artist, you got to keep changing and
Hmm.
evolving.
Yeah, is it tougher for you to, sometimes I this is not your problem yet, but sometimes I wonder if the Rolling Stones are still into their music, because they play it for 50 years, and if they can still feel the, is it tough for you to feel the energy with older songs you did, is it tougher
Um,
for you to get into
Interesting
them, or?
question. I mean, I haven't played them for 2 decades, kind of thing, but I would say that all genuine soul-powered art is timeless
Hmm.
and infinitely able to be experienced. So I would say music may not always, art may not always be a reflection of who you are potentially in this moment, but it's always a reflection of a special moment that can always be celebrated. So
Hmm.
I obviously I would say no, I don't think you'd ever get tired of it. I don't think so. I think you might prefer to, yeah.
I'm listening to you. I just need to open the door. Sorry.
Oh
Just
yeah,
just go on.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I mean, it's kind of both. Like, I think you prefer to obviously keep expressing your most recent soul passions, but I don't think that you ever get tired of other moments. And actually, there's a band called At the Gates.
Hmm.
Um, it doesn't really upset me. I don't know how I feel about it, but I love their first two records. With Fear I Kissed the Burning Darkness and The Red in the Sky Is Ours. It's very raw, primitive, before they believed they were as good as musicians. But to me, on an energetic level, it's like my everything, those albums. And I grew up with those albums. And when they talk about those albums being not as good, and like the fact that they don't like to play them as much live, it almost like hurt me a bit, because
Hmm.
I was like, you guys are my icons. Those albums are my favorite. You don't even like the own music you created.
Hmm.
That's insane. That's
Hmm.
insane.
Yep.
So I would never ever say that about my own music.
Hmm.
Just yeah,
Yeah. No. No.
it's
I'm
all
I'm with
good.
you. I'm with you with it because I mean I don't know specifically why we would say that. Maybe I don't
Right.
know. We were under conscription. No, how you say? We were maybe obligated to do something, but I
If
don't
it's
think
not
so.
pure art, then sure. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But if it's pure art, timeless. Is how
Hmm.
I think.
Yep. I think so too, and I don't know. I think as a musician, you should love all your songs. They change.
Yes.
Sometimes you love this more than the other one. This is normal because you as a person, you change. Your outlook of a song will change. And I like, for example, um, you have songs you can listen to your whole life, and they seem to change, but it's not that the song changes, but you change and your perception changes. You learn more, you accumulate knowledge, and you accumulate all this wisdom, hopefully.
Mhm.
So the art changes. No, I mean, you change, and you perceive that the art is changing. And this is also, I guess you could agree here with me, that's the best art is kind of which evolves with you as well. Because this is just me personally, where I dislike punk music, straight out punk music, because they tell you exactly what to think. This is left and this is right and this is black and this is white, and there is no way of something between the lines, to find your own way with it, your own access to the song. And so I rather have songs where more like where it's a little bit more wake, but wake in a good way where you can fill in your personal biography where you are at the moment. And yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I feel
guess.
you on that. I've always been cool with punk, but I mean, to me, metal was always about strength and independence, resilience, respect, healthy aggression. And I thought punk sometimes was just about disrespect and anarchy for the sake of it. So
Hmm.
I never resonated with the message as much, especially going to like metal shows and seeing the respect in the mosh pit.
Hmm.
Punk shows, very little respect typically in mosh pits. People get hurt at punk shows, and it's just like no one gives a fuck.
Hmm.
Not saying all the time, but that was my experience with it.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you said earlier. Also, if it comes from the right place, you can pogo dance and I mean, if you do it with respect and if you do it uh, not just to show off or just like, oh, I'm more I don't know, I'm more aggressive than you and blah 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 and all this stuff, when it comes
Hmm.
from the right
Pure.
place.
Yes.
Uh, so I mean, I'm actually quite happy to hear that you had some life experiences already, because I wasn't sure, as you are a more new artist, as I can judge, that you had the opportunity before the this pandemic hit to get out. Um,
Yeah.
so I have a fun question I like to ask in this regard. Was
Yeah.
there any funny mishaps? What happened on your way to the stage, or on the stage, or behind the stage as you were performing? I mean, only, PG-13, of course, but any funny stuff that you could share?
Yeah. Just thinking back to some live shows. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. What's funny?
Or
Yeah, this one
interesting?
time, I guess this one time, I usually bring out my whip to XXX. I like to just get a little weird with it. And yeah, this one girl came on stage once. I kind of told her to, and she got yeah, she got a little crazy up there, and I was having trouble getting her off. She started turning into like her own kind of strip show and stuff, which was fine. But also, I mean, all sorts of crazy little things happen like that. But nothing like insane that comes to mind. It's like usually the shows have gone pretty smooth. No one's like really fucked up
Hmm.
too hard, and it's like usually just a pretty good celebration, man.
Hmm. Yeah, this is, for me, um, I realized this as I was talking with other artists, that um, it, music is such a raw thing that um, I really miss going to concerts, because just dancing, and this is like a communion, like religion or like church. This is what makes religion so accessible, or so powerful, that you do something together, and this is our congregation. This
Yeah,
is where we dance together, and all the tribal cultures have dances and singing together, and doing music together, and we are, as the enlightenment crowd, and as the technologically savvy and whatever, we forget this, and so going to a concert is the one time where you can be yourself, and where you can have this communal feeling with dancing with others, and really sharing the moment and dancing the night away. And I really I realized this just recently, that this is something really um, transcending, maybe. This is like a drug without side effects, basically. It's just pure endorphins, and even if you get spilled over with beer and stuff, and some people puts whatever, but it still has so. I really miss this feeling. So I'm happy that you
yeah.
could at least have a few shows.
Oh
Um,
yeah, going to shows is the best thing ever.
yeah, and I guess I haven't seen your shows, of course, but getting the
My
energy.
shows, but going to shows. I mean, for me, my favorite thing to do is go to see bands. Like,
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, when you know this, the energy and stuff. So what was your, maybe what's your uh, what kind of music are you going to? Which shows are what was the best show you have been to? Let's put it this precise.
um, I like to go to like mainly metal, like death metal, deathcore shows. Um, Those are my favorite. I like extreme shows. But I like all sorts of shows. But yeah, one of my favorite shows was when I first saw a band called Full Blown Chaos, New York hardcore band. Just was the heaviest breakdowns ever, and it just blew my face off and changed my life. I love that band. Got them tattooed on my ribs, and just like an underground New York hardcore band. Not many people know them. I've seen Slayer front row. That was one of my favorite shows. Meshuggah puts on a fucking great show. Yeah, man, there's so many good ones. But to answer your question, I'd say that Full Blown Chaos was one of my all-time favorites.
Okay, I'm gonna check them out. Let's see. Full Blown Chaos. They're still around, right?
Yeah, well, they haven't made a new record in a long time, but yeah, they're still around 100%.
Cool.
Their self-titled album is amazing, and Wake the Demons is like my favorite album by them.
Okay.
Demons.
Yeah, Wake the Demons. Okay, I can do that as well. No, so maybe let's finish this off with, because
Okay.
you just came from the woods. So
Yes.
what is the thing you like to do to to clean your palate, basically, to clean your head, and to just chill? Because remember, I wanted to talk to you earlier, and you said, I found it very funny, you said, oh no, I'm at a pool party. And I was like, okay, cool, he's enjoying life. I wished I could go to, because it's quite hot in here, I wish I could go to a pool party, but you seem to enjoy life. So what is
Yeah.
your not guilty pleasure? What is your pleasures you take besides music? What do you do to relax?
To relax, I really enjoy the extreme elements. I enjoy extreme heat and extreme cold. I know most people don't think about that as relaxing, but I like stuff that taps you into like your primal. We're animals, we're designed to withhold or to withstand the elements.
Hmm.
So yeah, like ice baths, swimming in the lake, cold water, cold exposure in general, and then I like the heat, man. Sweat lodges, saunas, love that stuff. Some of my favorite stuff to do: hiking, being outside, just connecting with nature. In terms of actually like
Hmm.
relaxing, all the good stuff, dude. Reading, the occasional horror movie, hanging with my cat,
Cool.
plants,
Yeah,
flowers.
this is something I realized in this pandemic, that sometimes it's not good that we make our life too easy going. Sometimes it's good to have some challenges, like you have it with your extremes, with your heat and your cold. And what I mean, if you are in this modern world, where everything is where you have the heating and you can put on the thermostat and you have this and
Yes.
that, everything is where in the past you would have to chop wood to get
Yeah.
a hot bath or something. And so I think we lost a little bit. We we grow too accustomed to all the benefits, which is good. I mean, tell this to a third world country person that, oh, we are too well off because we have a thermostat and we don't have to do this and that, and I don't have to walk 10 miles to get a clean water or something. I can just open the tap. This is really cool. I understand, but sometimes it's a little bit. Because what you just said reminded me that we should be aware of how well we are off, and also, um, maybe take us out a little bit of it. Go, camping, and just have a wood fire or something, and start a wood fire in a traditional way. Also, just to experience nature like it should have been experienced, like primal, and not on the Discovery Channel just zapping through and learning something about the penguins. That's really nice, but I think we are very similar in this thing that sometimes it's better to not to take the easy route because it's more gratifying if or you learn more if you take the harder road, and yeah, I don't want to bash on the people in general, but it's so. We're losing out of a lot of experiences if we don't get into hardships sometimes. That's my point.
You'd enjoy the Wim Hof book called The Wim Hof Method.
Wim
You'd
Hof.
enjoy that a lot.
I will check it out. Wim Hof. How do you write Wim Hof?
WIMHOF. It's called The Wim Hof Method. He just came out with it. It talks to exactly what you just said. It's very inspiring. I think you'd like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. No, I realize this too. I have a friend who lives in the woods, and he has a sauna. So I visit him often to go to the sauna, and he has to chop wood, and because it's and this is cool, and I really I envied him, because he has to do physical labor to get his hut hot, but it's a cool thing, and in like 100 years ago, people would be, "Oh, you're crazy," It would be so much cooler if you get it out of just turn a dial.
Yeah, totally, man.
Anyway, yeah, this is okay. Thank you very much for your time. It was really nice to get to know you.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best with your new album, and please let me know once it's out. I have a little playlist and I have a little radio show where I can play your music, and I'm happy to do my little promotion stuff. And of course, if you ever make it over to Germany, I would be very happy to see you live because I think I would really enjoy your show.
Yeah, I will be, dude. I will be making it to Germany, and yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for your time, and have a good rest. For you, the day is beginning, right?
Yeah. We're like 6 hours behind you guys, I think.
Yeah. No, I will get my dinner now, and you will you will start your day. Have a good day, and thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, man. All the best.